But that's all I'm gonna say about that. Now, the biggest thing
This
that
nonsense.
we had to talk that, bro, I told you when I brought this up, you were going to be shook at who you're. This one was gonna get you, and I thought it
I
was.
so a funny thing is I actually came across something random about this earlier, and I basically just ignored it because I'm like, yeah, whatever. Like he's just letting her do whatever he wants, or whatever she wants is basically what's happening here.
Like,
Then I came across another two articles about 20 minutes ago.
so for those of you who don't know, apparently there have been reports that UNC is concerned about Bill Belichick's girlfriend and the influence she has over him. Like now I gotta pull up the article to show y'all this, bro. Hold up. Let me pull up the article because when I tell you seeing this and reading this article, it had me dying laughing. I ain't even gonna lie to you. Where is it?
I honestly wanted to see I honestly wanted to see the interview at this point
That's what I'm saying. Cause here we go.
because apparently the girl that went on the interview interrupted. So I think they said at least 10 times during the interview, shutting down questions about his book. His
Yeah.
book.
So
Did you ain't write the
supposedly,
book? He wrote it.
so supposedly, so here, so this is on Bleacher Report, y'all. This is the headline photo they used. You see how she looking at him? I ain't gonna front. She look like she about to take some money out. He concerned on the program. She concerned on what she trying to get out of him.
She
But
about to
that's
take
just me.
something.
But so here's what the article reads. As Bill Belichick prepares for his first season in North Carolina, there are reportedly concerns about his girlfriend's influence over him. During an interview with Tony Doko, that's all I'm gonna say, Dokapil of CBS Mornings, there were a handful of awkward moments, including one in which Belichick's girlfriend, Jordon Hudson, shut down a question about how they met, saying, "We're not talking about this." According to TMZ, moments like that, which occurred during the interview on Sunday, aren't sitting well with North Carolina, and there's a growing sense this could become a problem. TMZ added there are personnel at UNC who are concerned about Hudson's influence on the head coach, seemingly taking on a role as his manager. It's still unclear what exactly Hudson's role is, but it's clear she's serving as some kind of public relations manager for Belichick. Earlier this year, Belichick asked North Carolina staffers to copy Hudson on certain emails, specifically those regarding social media and web content. Mm-hmm. That request doesn't seem that out of the ordinary, as it makes sense that a 72-year-old Belichick would want his 24-year-old girlfriend to handle anything regarding his social media. But there are some other interesting involvement from Hudson over the past few months. The Athletics' Matt Baker reported earlier this month that Hudson emailed UNC's social media team asking them to promote Bill's son, Steve Belichick, as his own established, credible entity. Steve Belichick was eventually named defensive coordinator. Baker also noted that Hudson's email signature identifies her as the chief operating officer of Belichick Productions. Whatever Hudson's role is doesn't seem to be posing a serious issue at the moment, but it appears the higher ups at North Carolina fear things could get out of hand eventually. Now, I ain't gonna lie. Chief chief operating officer or chief officer of Belichick Productions in the email headline, bro. That you must be looking for the interview.
No, I'm reading this. There's a so WEEI with what was his name? Dang it, I just had him too. With Ted Johnson. Basically, the article's talking about Ted Johnson. UNC should consider firing Belichick. Is
Already?
what the article reads. So basically, based off of how the interview on CBS went, an interview that featured multiple instances of Hudson shutting down questions while sitting off to the side. Belichick's bosses at UNC apparently took note, with TMZ reporting on Monday that folks at UNC are now concerned about Hudson's influence on Belichick's tenure as the head coach in Chapel Hill, especially with her essentially taking a role as his manager. Because she did also claim that she is the CEO or chief executive officer of Belichick Productions, is what she calls it.
Yeah. So I have
And they're saying
found
there's a growing sense of it becoming a problem. And let's see here. Hudson took on
right.
an Instagram on Tuesday to share an email from Belichick about their strategy to promote his new book, The Art of Winning, and teased a full statement to be released later today as the time this was published, and said statement has not been yet released.
So I have found the interview if you're trying to watch it.
Will in a second. I want to get through this real quick. So, this is what Ted Johnson had to say about the situation. I've always been hesitant about that hire because I hold college coaches to a higher standard than I do NFL coaches. When it comes to morally, they're supposed to be leaders of men, set a good example, that kind of thing. So that leads me to what's going on at UNC with Bill Belichick. I'm surprised that UNC never called Atlanta on why they passed on Bill Belichick in that hiring in Atlanta. My feeling is that Atlanta Falcons are kind of looking at UNC going, "You should have called us."
One, I'm I get that.
Oh, hold on, there's a little bit
I'm
more.
okay.
And I say all that to say this: that I think that Carolina Tar Heels should consider firing Bill Belichick. They should consider letting him go at this point. It's a lot of money, and they're in deep in their preparation for next year. But I look at Belichick and I wonder if he's fit to coach an NFL team, let alone fit to coach a college team. Which again, I put more onus on the character and personality of a college coach than I do a pro coach. So I'm worried that Bill Belichick just isn't the fit to coach college kids, and UNC should consider cutting ties with Belichick. To which somebody responded with, "I just think what you've seen so far, the behaviors with Jordan, that dynamic, her being on the football field, her kind of just, I think, embarrassing Bill. People want to go, well, she's taking control of Bill. You think Bill doesn't have any say in how things go? Of course he does. He's okay with what she's doing. He's okay with her. You don't think he knows that email was being posted on her Instagram? Of course he knows. He's signing off on that. And so to me, those are bad decisions that make him and the university look really bad, and question whether and basically the follow up was, and so to me that makes the bad decisions that make him and the university look really bad, and question whether or not he is of sound mind and should be running a football team at the University of North Carolina. I think it's just something you have to really, really consider. Just question the decision making from the head coach at this point for those reasons. So getting the argument of, one, I also agree this random 24-year-old individual, as much of a go-getter as some people will say she is, because somebody that I guess one of her like pageant competitors for Miss Missouri or whatever she was at said, like, no, the girl is smart, she's really liked, she's a go-getter, so on and so forth. I get it, cool. They even said she could probably run a football team. I get it, cool. However, Bill, you have been in this job for over 2 decades. You know what goes into being a head football coach at literally the highest level. You have been to the highest point anybody in pro football would ever want to get to, and that's being in a Super Bowl. You have the most individual Super Bowls at almost every head coach that I've seen, besides what, Don Shula?
I think he's got more than Shula, but
Since the
I'd have to look.
Shula, Lombardi. But either way, you've gone down as one of the greatest head coaches of NFL history, and you have this 24-year-old girlfriend. Not only, like, the one thing that we saw her coming on the field during the practice, like a pro thing, no big deal, whatever. She's helping him fix his mic or whatnot. Cool. You
Mhm.
were on you were on an interview on
That's
national
what
television, and they're not talking to you.
we got to see the interview first. Like that's what like before we, because I got to see the interview of how it's going down. Because I know that's how
Because
we're
that's my main
describing it.
problem for yeah. Without seeing the interview, my main problem is, ma'am, they're not talking to you. I don't care if you're the manager or not. If you are the manager, being a manager would have meant that you went and got these interview questions prior to and went ahead and vetted them before they gave them to him. You're not going to sit there and interject in the interview and shut down questions from the sidelines. What are you doing? That's not how managing works. What's
So,
going on, Steve? What's going on, dog?
so
Salute.
yo, what's up, Steve? So I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this, and this is coming because you knew this was my job when I was in the military. Like
Right,
literally, this was my job when I
right.
was there. If you have these questions or you like, hey, this is what we're gonna talk about X, Y, and Z. Like as the PA rep, when you're there and you're watching your expert get these questions from interviewee. If they are asked these questions, these tough questions, or these questions that you know you're not accounting for in the middle of an interview, yes, you would interject. Now, I'm gonna say this: she is not in any official capacity Bill's chief operating officer or public relations manager. Like there, I know for a fact, like we all know she has not been officially hired by North Carolina as their public relations manager. That so yeah, you're right in the sense that she doesn't have a right to interject like that. If she was, or if there was a PR manager that was there, they do have that right to interject if the conversation's going way different than they wanted to. But I say we check out this interview first to see how this goes.
Right. And before we do, I got like extra little piece that I got coming in here. So from what I've also read is apparently Bill has gone as far as to request she get CC'd on every email.
Yeah, that's what I just read in that article.
The other thing is one, you interjecting on the question of how did you two meet shouldn't have came to as a surprise to you. That question should not have been surprising to you.
We've all been asking that question since it got aired
People
out.
been asking that question. People been asking that question since 2021. They've been asking that question for 4 years.
We've
You
been asking that
expect what
question
did you
since,
expect?
since the ring cam.
I get that the interview is for his book. I get the interview is about him and the book that he wrote. I get that. And I also get wanting to keep that interview on that topic. However, the fact that you didn't even think of, especially if you're supposed to be his manager and running Bill Belichick Productions or whatever you're supposed to be doing, if you didn't have the inkling at all to think that this question was going to come up, then you might want to step down and let somebody else more professional than you do it, because that was a question that you should have immediately saw coming. Every time you get an interview anywhere from this point on, especially now that you become more in front of the camera and you become more of a stable piece when it comes down to Bill Belichick, they're going to ask you, how did you get here? Who are you? Where did you come from? How did you get here? They're going to continue to ask you because the man is 73 years old. You are 25.
Not giving it a
You would be
bypass,
half
but
dumb to think they're not going to ask you these questions.
not giving her an excuse. But she's 25. She ain't gonna think that.
You would be half dumb to think that these questions aren't going to
I'm saying I'm not giving her the excuse. I'm just know, and you know, that she would be dumb enough not to think that. Now, a logical 25-year-old who really is trying to put themselves in these rooms and these positions would know that.
That. Let's pause right there for a second. The logical 20. No, we'll pause right there for a second. Logical 25-year-old. Do you know that man thanked her after signing her logic book on that plane that they met on? She taught him logic on that plane. He said, "Thank you for teaching me logic," when he signed that book for her. She was in school getting an education and a degree in logic.
Wrong one. That wasn't what I wanted. I think it might.
What you need is the what was it? Price is Right. Doom, 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 doom. Because
hey,
and even not even speaking from common sense logic, from the thought of a book that you learn logic from, you need to be half dumb to not expect that question to come up. Let's watch the interview. I'm gonna put on my shirt. I'm gonna get my channel in. Put on the interview.
Oh Lord! All right,
Put on the interview.
all right. He said, "Let's put on the interview because my
I had to
man.
get my Shannon Sharp lean real quick. Put on the interview.
You don't want to be Shannon Sharp right now.
Just the lean.
All right, just the lean.
Just the lean.
All right.
You see
So
this?
so which one? They got the 8-minute one, a 1 minute, and then this 2-minute one. Should we do this 2-minute one, or?
Yeah, let's do the 2-minute one because it looks like that's actually might show something.
All right.
Watch
That
to
goes
the
on
end
to
for a
Rock
discount
Packers
code
and
to
Benjamin.
Restream's
you
uploaded
hear it?
stream. Being a content
Yeah,
creator.
How did you guys meet?
Not talking about this.
Oh,
Bill Belichick's girlfriend, Jordon Hudson, awkwardly interrupted his CBS Sunday morning interview over a question about the pair's relationship. Journalist Tony
She
DeCopo
looks
asked the
pissed.
football coach how he and his 24-year-old girlfriend met, but before he could respond, Hudson interrupted off camera.
How did you guys meet?
Not talking about this.
No.
No.
It's a topic neither one of them is comfortable commenting on.
The segment, which aired April 27th, also included another interjection from Hudson before the CBS Mornings co-host noted in a voiceover that Hudson was a constant presence during their interview while displaying a photo of the Miss Maine pageant contestant standing by her 73-year-old boyfriend. Belichick did address, however, how he deals with the public interest over the couple's relationship. The pair have a nearly 50-year age gap.
You have Jordan right over there. Everybody in the world seems to be following this relationship. They've got an opinion about your private life. It's got nothing to do with them, but they're invested in it. How do you deal with that?
Never been too worried about what everybody else thinks. Just try to do what I feel like is best for me and what's right.
Additionally, the former NFL coach commented on loved-up photos Hudson has shared with the duo on Instagram.
You join InstaFace, as you put it. I love that. There's some great pictures of you and Jordan where you're a fisherman and she's a mermaid. It's charming. It's a different side of you. What's the reaction been like?
What's it been like?
To have these different sort of photos. There's another one where you're doing, I know you're not into meditation or yoga or Pilates. You're balancing Jordan on your feet. She's doing kind of the Titanic pose.
Yeah, so I'm on some of those social media platforms, but I honestly don't follow them.
Bill don't know how to answer that question. Bill's too old for that question.
So let me say this, bro. Hold up. First things first. I'm gonna say this. One, because a multitude of things came in my mind. One, America, y'all need to have the same energy about Bill in this gap that y'all got about Shannon in old girl gap, age gap. I just need the energy to be consistent. That's all I need.
I can't agree with it.
Why?
The only reason why I can't agree with it is because one of them is getting sued and the other isn't.
Nah. At the end of the day, Shannon 50, she 20. Bill 70, she's 24. No, we not doing that. I'm sorry. I need the same energy. Now I get the suing part, everything. However,
here's the other thing. When Bill met his girlfriend, she could legally drink. Shannon's still can't.
I thought she was 23 now.
She's 20.
No, they met when
If
she
I
was
remember
19. They met when she was 19. She's 23 now, or like 22 now. She could drink now.
She might be 22 now. She could drink now.
Yeah, she could
But
drink
when
now.
and all this nonsense was going on, she couldn't drink legally.
Yeah, I do know she was underage when they. I do know she was not underage, but she was 19 when they met.
She had to do what all of us did: find a bootleg or go to some house party with somebody else about to look at. We ain't going nowhere and buying away. Had to find.
You know nothing about that, neither do I.
Had to find a place somewhere.
But I'm gonna say, but also I do want to say this. When I look at that interview, at least the clip that we just saw, one, yeah, logic was not hitting that girl in the head because how you not expect that question to come up or whatsoever.
Like I said, just like they've been all over it since y'all got together.
2, I'm looking at it here like Bill, like you said, Bill looks too old for these questions. Bill looks too old for these questions. And I'm going to say this, that fisherman photo, that just looks cringy to me. It looks cringy as hell. It's cringy as hell.
Because here's the other thing. Because if you looked on his face, as soon as they asked him about the photo, like how was the reception, you can tell in his mind people hated it. First thing that went through his mind, people went to the front. People said it was disgusting. Let me find out a better answer because she's gonna be pissed if I say that.
Like it's that, and then not only those thought process. When Bill said, I've never cared about what anybody thinks. Fair. I just felt fair. Then he finished it with, I just felt like doing what's right. Bill, my boy, you were 69 when you met her at 21. You're 72 now, and she's 24. What was right about this? What was right about this? Like, how is that right, bro? She legally, and I'm not even being facetious when I say this, could be your granddaughter.
I say like granddaughter age. Now, and the other thing about it is, the part, like I said, the part that continues to annoy is the fact that one, you hopped in, you kept interjecting in an interview that's not about you. You're not a PR manager. You're not his, and you may be his manager, but you're not a PR advisor.
You are not in any official capacity.
My problem is the fact that you're having to interject in an interview where the interviewer has to turn and respond to you is a distraction. Because one, you're not comfortable enough to answer certain questions. 2, I get wanting to try to keep the focus on the book. However, anytime a book interview is done, I don't know how many you've seen. I don't know where you've seen them. Every time there's somebody interviewing something about an artistic creation, they always ask the artist about themselves. They ask about the book a little bit, just to kind of get some feel, some context, or whatever the thing he created. The music.
You usually ask them where they draw inspiration from, or did anything happen in life? Exactly. Was there something that
they ask a little bit about your inspiration? They ask a little bit about what the book's about, or whatever the creation it is that you made is about. After that, they're asking about you, because the whole point of the interview is to know about you, the person who is behind the creation. That's what they want to know, because they want to be able to sell you, the person who made it. The reason why I know that, because I had to do that a few months ago. I hate trying to sell myself. I hate it.
Pause. What are you out here on the corner, dog? Like what? Hey, you better make that keyboard work and stop playing with me.
That's why I hate having to do it, because I ain't trying to be on no corner. That's the whole point. I should be able to throw something out in the world and it sell its damn self. What I got to do it for?
Hey.
Exactly. Here, book. Who? Everybody buy it. I should be able to throw a book out and money comes back. That's what I want.
Hey, listen,
but here's
make that keyboard work and quit playing with me.
Quit playing with me. So my problem is, it shows to me that you don't have a basic understanding of how how TV interviews work. You don't have a basic understanding on how managerial work, when it comes down to interviews, works. It shows me that you have no basic logistical sense of what could potentially arise in these interviews, despite the fact that this has been an on-running theme for 4 years. Did you just forget that there's a 50-year age gap? Did you just forget that this man has gone down as one of the greatest NFL quarterbacks of all time, so the media is on his neck almost all the time?
Side note, he has the most with 6. I double down.
There we go. And it has the most Super Bowl wins of any coach in NFL history. Did you forget all of that as a thing? Or are you fully invested in all that, know that's what this is, and using that to promote yourself until at some point his being old can no longer profit you? That's what I'm wondering.
Or Alzheimer's can be transferred through osmosis?
Or you sit here
It can be transferred through intercourse. That's a bad visual.
or you're taking advantage of old people, which honestly is just
That is actually probably the most logical one right there. Taking advantage of old people.
using this old man's popularity to promote yourself as an individual. Because one, has anybody heard of Bill Belichick Productions? Of Belichick Productions? Has that ever been a thing, or did you just make this up yourself?
I ain't gonna front. I've never heard of Belichick Productions. If anybody, I'm gonna be honest with you. If there is anybody throughout the history of football that Bill has worked with that could have been the head of Belichick Productions, it would have been Randy Moss. Because Randy Moss was the only one who could get him to do stuff that didn't make sense. You know what I mean? He got Bill to pop out to a Halloween party. I ain't gonna lie, this man been Googling so much stuff. That joint said Belize, Beyonce, the Falcons. Like, bro, are you about to go to Nicaragua or something? Like, what's happening?
Belichick Productions is the company associated with Bill Belichick, the former New England Patriots coach, and his girlfriend, Jordon Hudson. You made this up on the spot. This is new. This is brand new. This ain't even 2 years old.
Nah, I'm going to say this.
Company according to
it's an LLC. That's what it is.
It's an LLC.
It's an LLC.
And business activities are not fully clarified. It appears to be involved in managing Belichick's personal brand and potentially developing media projects.
It's an LLC.
If you don't get this LLC LLC BS off my screen, off my internet, and out of Bill Belichick's life today,
bro, you want to know what's crazy? You want to know what's because we were talking about taking advantage of old people. Do you know that is going to be, if it turns out that Jordan was using him just to get famous and get a book out and whatever, and then she dumps him in like a big WWE heel turn type of deal? Do you know
not to introduce Steve Belichick as Bill's son to combat nepotism claims? We knew.
Okay, hold up. All right, hold up. Hold up. Where'd it go? We not to combat nepotism claims. Do you want the solo or do you want me?
Nepotism claim? This was April 16th. This was written.
You want the solo or you want me to get it?
This was a week and a half ago.
Do you want the solo Cam to address that one or do you want me?
I got this.
You got it. All right.
Man, let me ask you something. I don't even need the solo Cam for this. I got a question. I got a really deep-rooted question here. Where were you the last 30 years of Steve Belichick's life? Where were you? We all knew who Steve Belichick was. We all knew who all of them were. We know, and we've known for a while, this is nepotism. It is okay because honestly, at the end of the day, they're honestly good.
He's good at his job. Steve ain't bad at his job. That's one thing I'll say. He ain't bad at his job.
Hudson sent guidelines to the university on how to announce Steve's hiring, saying Steve should be depicted and represented as his own established, credible entity as opposed to an extension of Bill. We all know he's
his son. He is the literal extension of him.
It can easily be misinterpreted that Steve is simply benefiting from nepotism, but that is not the case. Steve was fortunate to have learned defensive football strategy from the greatest defensive mind of all time. He has earned his position due to his performance and output. We know this.
He is his son. That is the literal extension of the. You can't get no more extended from. Extendo clipdo.
Referred to him as the son of Bill Belichick. Steve announced as the team's defensive coordinator and linebackers coach. In that announcement, UNC referred to him as the son of Bill Belichick. Hudson also told the school to avoid using pictures of Bill and Steve together as a way to combat nepotism claims and make Steve's career stand on its own. In addition to advising UNC on Steve's hiring, Hudson also mentioned the school about moderating content on social media pages per The Athletic. Is there anyone monitoring the USC football page for slanderous commentary and subsequently deleting it, blocking users that are harassing BB in the comments? Hudson asked on February 13th. On Valentine's Day, Belichick followed up. I cannot believe that UNC would support my being called a predator, he wrote. Wow. UNC confirmed it hid or blocked comments about their personal life, but did not find any instances in which Belichick was called a predator. Belichick and Hudson relationship has been on subject to criticism due to their age gap. Hudson does not hold an official position with UNC or its football team.
Stop right there. Go right. UNC confirmed it hid and blocked comments about their. So it ain't the fact that UNC knows these comments are coming. So this goes back. So this goes back to her. If UNC themselves are confirming, and you know what? Yeah, I gotta double down and support you on this one. If UNC themselves are hiding and blocking comments, which apparently you are chief operations of Belichick Productions, so you're probably in on it, on seeing them block comments about your brand assets, then why wouldn't you think in the interview they might ask about your relationship?
Like it makes no sense to me that you wouldn't think this would happen. And then they're saying that raised eyebrows when reports emerged suggesting he asked UNC to copy Hudson on emails. Given the content in the emails that emerged Tuesday, it appears Hudson is essentially acting in some sort of PR role for Belichick.
Yeah, that's the same article in Bleacher Report that I read here earlier.
Belichick's girlfriend delayed CBS interview for 30 minutes after. You know what? Let me get out.
No. All right, bro. We gonna go.
Where my thing go? There it is. Thank you.
Yeah, because
here's
not doing that. You are irked. You are irked. That's the clip right there. That man just
next thing.
Seething. All right. So ending on that next thing. So